Anglers Extra.
It's time for the Manager's Show on the Anglers Extra pregame show. I'm joined at Veterans Field by John Schiffner. John, a tough loss for your team last night, but in the 5 games, the only 2 losses have been by 1 run to the 2 teams with the best records in the league. Are you happy with the way your team's playing lately?
No question. We're playing well. I mean, we ran into a little bit of buzzsaw yesterday. Campbell threw well for Harwich. We couldn't really muster a lot of offense. Had enough, almost, and, the kids took good ABs. Sometimes like I said a number of times, sometimes you have to tip your hat to the opposing pitcher more or less than blame your own players for their lack of hitting. I thought we took some pretty good swings. They made some plays and he made some pitches, and I think we both had 5 hits. They had 4 runs, we had 3. I thought it was a real good ball game. I told the kids I was proud of the way they played. They handled the call at the end of the game like champions, so it was great.
Speaking of that call, kind of an odd situation where the home plate umpire called a check swing on Adam Engel and then just walked off the field. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know if it was a ball or strike, and that's his job to do that, but his mechanics was just terrible. I mean, this is the biggest situation of the entire game. The mechanic says ask for help, and he refused to ask for help, and he just literally ran off the field, which indicated to me something right there. So, that's the way it goes. I mean, these kids are great. There was, you're not blaming the umpires because we only got 5 hits, but it would have been nice to see what would have happened on that situation. What was the base umpire going to call? And like I said, I don't know. It was close. There's no question it was close. But what really got me is it's not balls and strikes as much as poor mechanics. And, you ask them, we're working our butts off. You ask them to do their job. If they miss a ball or a strike or a save for an out, that's a judgment call. But when you don't do your mechanic, you're taught how to do your mechanics. And that was not done in that situation. I thought that was bad. And especially how he ran off the field. I thought that was pretty bad.
Over the last few games, the pitching has been very good, and when you were talking to Guy Benson, you jokingly referred to Harwich as the 27 Yankees, but their offense didn't do a whole lot against you, and YD comes into this game with a team batting average of .320. What has the pitching staff for your team been doing so well, and what are they going to need to do going forward?
Well, they're throwing the ball well. They're locating. Locating is so important, and changing speeds is so important, and not only changing speeds, but it's throwing that pitch where you want to throw it in that particular count. Do we want this ball in the dirt? Yes. Do we want this ball, a strike? Do we want this breaking pitch a strike? And they've really been executing very, very well. And, Jimmy pitched well yesterday. I mean, besides the fact of giving maybe the longest home run I've ever seen in my life, Jimmy pitched well. Boy, that ball was crushed. Yeah. But, I mean, he missed a couple pitches ahead. The guy cheated to the count and he hit a bomb, and that happens. And Jimmy knows it. And, it's a 4-3 game. It's not like Jimmy got plastered all over the place. And Dace came in and did a nice job. Atwood came in and did a great job. I mean, that was impressive what Ryan Atwood did. So, we can pitch. We can pitch if we locate. And that's the key to pitching is locating. You've got to locate. You got to be able to throw your breaking pitch for a strike because lots of guys have hard fastballs and they can throw balls by people, but not everybody can throw balls, by all these guys. You got to be able to move it around. You got to be able to change speeds on it. And Burns done a great job with the pitchers and guys are improving. I mean, that was a really solid outing by Ryan Atwood. Really a confidence builder both for him and us.
You talk about Ryan Atwood and Dace Keim. The bullpen continues to do very well, even when starters can't go too long or aren't too dominant. It seems like your bullpen always shuts down the door on the opposing offense. How important is that for you, especially in close games like last night?
Well, you just feel confident that, because we got enough arms. We got plenty of arms, so you feel confident that if we get into extra innings, we get a shot. Not many teams can say that because you're not sure, what's back there in the back end of the bullpen, and we've got some real good players and pitchers in the back end of the bullpen. So we feel comfortable going late in the game. We got some guys who can throw.
On the offensive side of the ball, the team as a whole may be struggling a little bit, but Andrew Knapp is hitting .324 over his last 10 games. The switch hitter seems to be having a lot of success. What have you seen from him?
He works very hard. He works at his game. He listens to Pat, and I know I say it. I don't think I say it enough. Pat's good. Pat is a really good hitting coach, and
you may say it jokingly a little bit.
I do sometimes. I tease Pat sometimes, and there's other things I could say about Pat, but this is a family show. Pat does a great job. Pat knows what he's talking about. And, if you listen to Pat and you can apply what Pat's telling you, you're going to do okay. And Andrew's really taken his hitting. Andrew is a good hitter. He was a good hitter when he got here. And I think he's even gotten better because he's really going the opposite field, both sides of the plate. He's using the strike zone. He's working himself into good counts. And, I wish some more of these guys would do that. I mean, some of these guys are still, I don't know if they're struggling with their own personal mechanics or they're struggling with their own personal egos. But some of these guys need to make some adjustments. They need to, look at Andrew and Engel and Pinder, and those guys have made some serious adjustments since they've got here. And I think some of those other guys it would really help us and them if they did.
Andrew Knapp starting once again in the middle of the Anglers lineup as they take on the YD Red Sox, their 6th consecutive game against a divisional opponent. Thank you and good luck, Coach.
Thanks very much.
Continuing on the Anglers Extra pregame show, we send it back to Chris Fitzgerald.